Hey folks, Cook and Lou here. Tonight I'm going to be making chicken and shrimp Francese. Let's get started. Let me show you how we're going to do it. All right, first off, you're going to need some eggs and flour. You're going to need some shrimp. These are nicely cleaned and deveined jumbo shrimp. Thin sliced chicken cutlets, which I just finished cleaning up. We need some vegetable oil, some chicken stock, and a decent wine. All right, whenever cooking with a wine, if you're not going to drink it, don't use it. If it's something you would drink, by all means use that. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start off with our cutlets first. We're going to give them a little bath, a little flour and egg wash. Now, usually in previous videos, you've seen me egg first, then bread, and then fry. When you're making Francese, you do the reverse. All right, so we're going to take one of our nicely thinly sliced cutlets, drop it in our flour, drop it into our egg wash. And I got the oil already heated up. Make sure that gets completely covered with egg, and then drop it right into our oil. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to do the rest of them, and I'll show you what they look like. All right, got my apron on, ready to rock. Just wanted to show you what these cutlets should look like. All right, you don't have to cook them completely through. You want to get them nice golden brown like that. They're going to cook additionally when we put the sauce together. Okay, there's our cutlets. And now what we're going to do is our shrimp. Basically, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're just going to flour them, we're going to egg them, and we're going to fry them. And two ingredients I did forget to tell you about. One is a lemon, and the other is parsley. And I'll show you about that in a little while. All right, there's our shrimp. And just so you know, shrimp will cook a lot faster than the chicken did. Cook them maybe a minute or two on one side, a minute or two on the other side, all right? Also, just to let you know, we're cooking on a low to medium heat. Both the chicken and the shrimp are cooked on the same flame. Now we're going to take our lemon, we're going to slice that in half. We're going to put one half off to the side, and the other one, we're going to cut very, very thin slices. Real thin. This is where a nice, good, sharp knife comes to play here. All right, I'm going to finish that up, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those. Okay, there's our slices of lemon. What we're going to do now, we're going to heat them up on both sides on a low heat, bring out some of the juices, and then whatever was left in the pan is going to come right off of that too. Turn them over a little bit, and I'll show you what we do next. Our lemons are all nicely heated. I dropped off some juice on them. And now what we're going to do, we're going to add about a half a cup of wine. And about, I would say, 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock. All right, we'll let that heat up, and I'll show you what's next. By the way, that's what our shrimp looks like after it was all done. Here's our chicken, and there's our shrimp. It's nice and heated up, the wine and the broth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter. But before we do that, we put the butter in some flour. Helps thicken up the sauce. So we'll do 4 of those. Let that melt, and then if we don't like the thickness, if we want it a little thicker, we can add a little more flour. So now we're going to take that other half of lemon that we had, and we're going to squeeze some of the juice in it. So what we'll do is put the fork in and just turn and squeeze a little bit. Let some of the juice fall in. Now at this point you want to taste. Give that a little whisk. It's a fine line between how lemony you want it. You don't want it too overbearing. Perfect. I also don't like the thickness. I want it to thicken it up a little bit, so I'm going to add a little flour to it. When you do that, make sure you're whisking it always while you're dropping it in. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of clumps. I'll finish that up, show you what it looks like. All right, there's our sauce. The thickness I like it. And in the meantime, I made a little thin spaghetti, which we're going to serve the Francese on top of. But usually what I like to do is I usually like to take the chicken Francese or the shrimp and put it back into the pan. But since we're making a lot, what we're going to do here tonight, all right, I have the shrimp in a oven pan and the chicken in a different oven pan. And what we're going to do now is pour the sauce over it and then let it bake in the oven on 400 for 10 minutes, just to cook through anything that hasn't finished cooking. Our chicken is done, our shrimp is done. And there we go. Plate it up. Pasta on the bottom. There's a cutlet. A couple of shrimps on there. You grab some of that juice. Pour it right over it. Add a little bit of parsley. And we're ready to go. Bon appetit.